to the I Ain't Shit podcast. Um, I guess I'm your host. Welcome to the new studio. It's part of the radio show. Shout out to the Morning Grits crew. Um, and yeah, so I, as I said before, the whole idea of the podcast is to essentially give you, the viewer, a psychological advantage to help you improve your life. There's people who show you how to make money. There's people who show you how to, I guess, get girls. There's people that show you finances, all these things, right? But very rarely do you ever have someone tell you how to psychologically improve. And it is absolute necessary, like the most important thing, because your first reaction is always going to be an emotional one if you do not have yourself in control. And that is the whole point of today's episode, is controlling your emotions. um, I guess the definition for it would be called stoicism, which is it extracts all emotions from any of your decisions, logical, whatever. So, and stoicism isn't just for the negative emotions, it's also for the positive ones. Like, are you allowed to have your feelings? Yes. But your feelings are not supposed to control you. It is something that you have, like a shirt. It's not something that owns you. Too many individuals, they, and it's not their fault either. Like, your traumas are your traumas, and I get it. You seen your dad drink, you seen your dad angry, you seen your mom angry, you seen your mom depressed, sad, anxious, whatever the case is. Um, those moments in your childhood play a direct reflection of how you are as an adult. Some people will say it's genetic. I I say it's environment. It's really just environment. Um, but it is as difficult as it is. It's also not impossible. And how it is that you have to let go of that emotion that you have so that you can function. Like, whatever traumas, whatever you're feeling in general, it costs a lot more for you to hold on to it than for you to let it go. The only unfortunate part is that once you let it go, you have to do the scary part, which is figure yourself out. Um, and figuring yourself out is what I call taking medicine. It is the harsh truths that you have to look at yourself in the mirror and realize that the whole point of this podcast, which is I ain't shit. I have to allow myself to realize how imperfect I am so that I can move on. And once I move on, then I try to master my emotions. Once that happens, most people will never have the power to get me upset. Of course, you do have the occasional road rage. Sure, everybody has it. But what I mean is, if someone wants to step on my feet, I'm not going to get upset because they purposely did it for a reason. They wanted me to stoop down to their level so that I can react and, I guess, give them attention. I guess you could say that's unfortunately that's how most people are. Is just show me attention, whether it's good or bad, doesn't really matter. Um, but I'm not going to give that person that amount of power over me. It's just, what have you done, or what have you deserved for me to give you so much power over me? Having people play in the back of my mind, me being upset, for what? What do you gain from it? All you gain is stress, pain, and maybe a jail story, right? But once you've mastered your emotions, you let go and you've kind of accepted your flaws, and you're making small edits every day. Um, you reach a level to where you could somewhat control other people's emotions because you're in control. Um, I guess controlling a room is the same way how you would control driving a car. You can make it very comfortable. You can put the AC, the music, boom, 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 crack a couple of jokes, haha, you know what I'm saying? But if you don't, it winds up being a very bumpy road. Most people, they don't know how to drive that vehicle, that ability to control the room. And when they don't, you start to see workplaces shamble. You start to see a lot of drama. Um, People just antsy, and then they bring their life of misery into the work life, and then it just makes it miserable. But if you just do this one thing, I'm almost guaranteeing you're going to see a little shift in the room. Just give everybody dap. Everybody dap. Give them dap. And you say, "Hey, bro, morning." Boom, right, with a smile. The entire room has to shift because The room was dark. You put a little bit of light in it, and now boom, there's something there that they could go off of. Um, but when you continue to do this, it tends to look more like magic. I don't know how to explain because this happens to me very often. Is I talk to people, and because I know how to control the room, they feel comfortable enough to open up to me about some of the things that they're really going through. Like, it is an ability. It's hard to explain because people think that it just happens naturally, but it's really not. Is that I controlled the room in order for you to be comfortable enough to allow me inside of it, and yeah, it's a powerful tool that I have learned, and it's a necessary tool because there's a lot of individuals that are in pain, and that pain turns into bad decisions a lot of the time, and then sometimes then it's like a reoccurring pain to where the child one had the pain, had the suffering, then created another child, pain and suffering, then created another child, pain and suffering, and then you're left with the byproduct of the fourth. But the fourth child that has no idea the troubles that child number one really suffered. Like this child and this child have no idea like how much pain was in between, or even how much pain was before. And letting go of that emotion is like letting go of a burning rope. And once you let go, you can allow your hands to heal. And then you have the ability to control your emotions. It is a very powerful tool because, like I said, the first reaction, the first thing that happens is an emotion. Then, secondly, it's a reaction to that emotion. You want to change the cycle. It hasn't worked out for majority of people. You're not the exception. So, with that being said, uh, that was the episode, and I appreciate you.